Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alexa, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 12 books that I read in the month of November. I love watching reading wrap-ups because it's kind of like a bunch of mini reviews of books in a very condensed period of time. And also it's a chance for me to talk about some books that I read but didn't put in any videos. So let's jump in with the first book that I read in the month of November, and it was actually an audiobook, and it is We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kliewer. I got this as a skip the line copy off of Libby, and it's basically a thriller mystery about a couple that moves into a house, and the people that previously lived there come by to visit. They want to take a little path down memory lane and show their kids what the house looks like. But once the old family goes into the house, the new family has a very hard time getting them out. So that's all I'm gonna say about the book for now because I don't want to spoil it. This book has so many crazy twists and turns, and I really enjoyed my time listening to this book, and the audiobook production is really high quality. I love when audiobooks have different like sound effects added in and different actors doing voices for different characters, things like that. So not only is this a great book, but it's also a great audiobook if you're into audiobooks. And I gave this one 4.5 stars. The next book that I read is really good actually, by Monica Heisey, and at the time that I picked up this book, it was the lowest rated book on my physical TBR. It is about a woman who gets divorced, and she's basically just trying to find herself after getting this divorce. I looked up some reviews of this book after I finished it on Goodreads because I was really curious why it was rated as low as it was. I think it just came down to people finding the main character insufferable, and for a story that claims that the character is going on a journey to find herself, I feel like she's less so finding herself and more so just kind of like sitting in her discontentment and kind of like groveling in her past mistakes and hardships, if that makes sense. Like, she doesn't really do a lot of self-development and bettering of herself. And it seems like a lot of people just found that annoying. I wasn't that annoyed with it. It was annoying at times though. But I think what I really liked about the book is that it was really funny in my opinion. So I think the humor in the book kind of distracted me from the unlikableness of the character. So yeah, I enjoyed my time reading this, but I wouldn't say it was like incredible or anything. I gave it 3.5 stars. The next book that I read is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. This was like the fall book this year that everybody was posting and talking about. Obviously, I wanted to get in on it and see if it was any good because I saw so many posts about it, but I never really saw anybody reviewing it or saying if it was good or not. And I feel like this book is in alignment with a lot of like holiday specific books. They're definitely fun to read like in the season that they are meant for, but aside from that, you're not really going to read anything super groundbreaking or monumental. It's a little small town, spicy, fall-themed romance book. So if that's what you're looking for, you're gonna like this. If that's not what you're looking for, you're not gonna like this. I gave this one 3.5 stars. The next 4 books that I'm gonna talk about are all in my cruise vlog. So if you guys want more in-depth thoughts on these books, I will link that in the description if you want to check it out. But the next book is Society of Lies by Ling Brown, and this was what month was this? I think October pick for Reese's Book Club. It's pretty much about a collegiate secret society and about how 2 sisters, as the title implies, get wrapped up in a society of lies. I really enjoyed my time reading this book, and I gave it 4 stars. The next book that I read, The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie by Freida McFadden. This is without a doubt the worst book that I read this year. It's a satirical thriller mystery novella. I did not laugh one single time while reading this book. It had jokes in it that I felt like were approximately 10 years old. I felt like this whole concept, a satirical novella making fun of your own books and your own writing style, has potential, but it was just weird and bad. I'm sorry. The next book that I read is another novella, and it is The Situationship by Abby Jimenez. This is a novella that goes along with Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez because it's following one of the characters in that book. So, I mean, you're pretty much not really gonna like this book unless you've read that book. So yeah, it was good for what it was, but it was really short. So obviously there's not really even that much content to rate, but I gave it 3 stars. The next book that I read is Firefly Lane by Kristin and Hana. We are following the friendship of Kate and Tully spanning over 30 plus years. The ups, the downs, and everything in between. I really, really loved this book and I gave it 4.5 stars. The next book that I read is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I love this copy so much. It's so stunning. And embarrassingly enough, I actually collect editions of Little Women, but until this point, I had never read it. I know, but we fixed it this month and I read it. And of course, it was 5 stars. I've seen the movies, so obviously I already know the story, but it's just different when you read the book. Especially considering the time period that this was written, it is just incredible. Aged like fine wine. If you don't know what this is about, it's basically just following 4 sisters as they grow and change throughout the years. All right, the next 3 books that I read are also in another video that I did where I read Dollar Tree books for a week. So if you want to see that video and hear more in-depth thoughts about these books, I'll link that below as well. The 3 Dollar Tree books that I read were Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume, A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy, and Hana Carries On by Uzma Jalaluddin. I gave this book 5 stars. I gave this book 5 stars. And sorry to break the pattern, but I gave this book 3.5 stars. The next book that I read is The Chain by Adrian McKinty. I have to say that I usually finish books within a couple days of starting them, but this book literally took me weeks to finish, which is not typical for me. So I'm not sure what the deal was with that, if I just wasn't into it or if I was in a reading slump. I don't even know. I feel like I wasn't in a reading slump though, because I was reading other books and actively choosing not to pick this one up. But that's not to say it wasn't good. It just wasn't the gripping, can't put it down type of thriller that I expected it to be. It's basically about a kidnapping chain where you have to kidnap somebody in order to get your kidnapped child back. And you're following a woman, Rachel, and her daughter, Kylie, who become a part of the chain. You know, I don't like to say too much about thriller mysteries because obviously I don't want to spoil anything that happens in here for you guys, but it is split up into 2 parts. And if like the first part was really good, and then when I got to the second part, that's where my interest in the story started to drop off. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But I did like this book. It just wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I gave it 3.5 stars. The final book that I read in the month of November is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Now hear me out. Just based on the cover and synopsis, this is not a book that I would probably be inclined to pick up. But the reason that I did pick it up is because it is reportedly one of Taylor Swift's favorite books. So that's how we ended up here. And let me tell you, this book is incredible. I think it's considered a modern classic, so that's interesting. It is basically about our main character who goes unnamed the whole book, and she gets married to this guy, Maxim. She goes to live with him at his huge estate. She's creating a better life for herself, but she finds out that Maxim used to be married to this woman named Rebecca. Rebecca has passed away, but she is lingering at the estate in various different ways, haunting Maxim and our unnamed female character. This book is crazy. I went into it thinking that it was pretty much just a romance book, but no. This is not just a romance book. This is a horror book. This is a mystery book. This is a thriller book. This is a romance book. It's a lot of different things woven up into one book, and it was amazing. I switched between the audiobook and the physical book, and there would be times where I was cooking dinner and I would literally like drop my knife on the counter because I was so shocked at what was going on in this book. A little dangerous, so maybe don't use knives if you're listening to the audiobook, because you will drop things, including your jaw, to the floor at things that happen in this book. This is another 5-star read. That might be like the most 5-star reads I have ever had in a month, and I'm not mad about it. And with that being said, that is going to be all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know anything you want to let me know. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram and make sure that you are subscribed so that you can see more videos from me in the future. But for now, that is all, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! I wonder if that could be like any louder.